Welcome back, everybody, to another fantastic episode of the Every Pokemon Episode Ever podcast. I am one of your hosts, Wrestling Chris G, and on the other line with me is the leader himself. Well, more of a follower. I don't know. Is he a leader or a follower? We'll find out after I do this intro. It's good old Dougie Fresh. Dougie, my man, how you
The hell was that intro?
doing?
What happened?
Not, I was thinking to myself because it's a gym battle, and I was like, oh, he's the leader. And I was like, wait a minute, is he a leader or is he a follower? I'm not sure. Doug, are you a leader or a follower?
I don't know.
Do you want me to tell you?
No, not really. Leave that up to a mystery. We'll let
Well,
the peoples decide.
and thank you, everybody, for downloading today's episode. Today's episode is episode 674, season 14, and the start of the final week that we're doing 2 episodes per week, Doug.
Yes,
Man.
because you were bad children and you didn't click on our episodes enough.
That's not the reason. No, everybody. On a real note, as I stated in the Pokemon movie, uh, that doing this podcast is all fun and well and everything, and we're gonna keep up with it. But doing 2 episodes per week and keeping our backlog along with our Patreon backlog is going to end up catching up to us at some point. So I wanted to start the new year on a fresh note because I will be starting to go back to work officially actually as of next week. So I will be starting back work, so I won't have the luxury and freedom of doing the podcast as frequently as I do, but you'll still be able to at least get 1 episode per week with our backlog. Right, Doug?
Correct.
So, but man, last week, Doug, we did the Mewtwo Returns movie. Such a great movie.
Yes, I really enjoyed doing that. It was nice to get a little bit of a continuation on the Mewtwo storyline from the first movie. Um, Nice little hour special that we turned into 2 hours or whatever it was. So
Yeah, a good 2.5 hours that podcast was.
that was fun to talk about.
Yeah. So we try to give you guys a nice little treat every now and then by reviewing a longer version or having a longer version of the podcast for you. So if you haven't heard the Mewtwo Strikes Back Part 2, Mewtwo Returns podcast. We dropped it last week. Go ahead and give that podcast a nice little click. And I'm sure you will really enjoy it because, unlike us, we had no idea that that was even a thing until we were getting ready to do the first movie review. And we're like, oh,
Son of a bitch.
what happened, Doug?
Well, my passive aggressive computer. Hey, your battery's low. You might want to plug it in.
Every week, Doug.
Well, you know.
He's like, one of these days, I'm going to get through both podcasts on one full battery. I'm telling you, one
That's
of
the
these
goal.
days.
That's the goal.
So, all right, everybody. But yeah, no, on a real note, yeah, it was nice doing that episode. If you stay tuned for the end of this podcast, as I kind of alluded to last week on the Mewtwo Returns, I finally got the Pokemon Sword and Shield Fusion Strike booster box. And on this episode today, I will be opening 2 of those booster packs as a special end of year. I normally do one but I need to get some of these damn Pokemon packs out of my house. So much that I've just been giving away free Pokemon packs to people, just mailing them out. Just here you go. You can take a Pokemon pack. But but yeah, I will be opening two of those at the end of today's podcast. But we can stop the lollygagging because this week's episode is called "The Battle of According to Lenora," or translated from Japanese, "Shippō Gym Battle versus Gym Leader Aloe." So, Doug, this episode premiered in Japan on January 6, 2011, and here in the States on May 14th, 2011. So only a 5 month stretch on this one. And my date happened in 1998, Doug. When did yours happen?
Well, um, yeah, 1918.
1918. So of course you're going first.
So on this day in the year of our Lord, 1918, May 14th, baseball on Sundays is officially legalized in Washington, D.C.
Really? Okay.
Right.
So it was illegal?
Well, technically, I suppose, but illegal implies the fact that people were doing it and getting caught. I think it was just something that wasn't done. But this had a direct reflection on World War One. We were just coming out of that, and it was a matter of wanting to get the season done in a decent time frame. And they say, look, if we're eliminating baseball on that day, obviously you're dealing with the Washington Senators at that point, and not being able to have a home game on a Sunday, that kind of shrinks your schedule as it is. So,
So they swapped it up.
well, yeah, you kind of open things up a little bit. It kind of allows for a little bit more freedom.
Gotcha. All right. Well, thank you for that, Doug.
Right.
And mine happened in 1998 and on May 14th, 1998, and I'm sure a lot of you out there know where I'm heading with this one already, was the final two-part episode quoted the finale of the show Seinfeld, which was with commercials was priced at $2 million for 30 seconds for this show. That's just a fun fact for this. But they people paid $2 million to advertise for a commercial break of this finale, Doug. Holy
Y-
shit.
Yeah, you're talking like that's like Super Bowl prices.
Yes. But and the people from Seinfeld, they retired. They retired off of the show and they still get um I'm sure they still get paychecks in the mail for the show still being aired today. I'm sure it's not hardly as much as what they were getting paid, but they they didn't have to. I mean, I know a lot of the actors went and did other things, but they didn't have to work another day in their life after this. I mean, I heard Jerry Seinfeld on Howard Stern just talk about how he just got bored and he just started venturing off and doing other things.
Yeah, he had his comedians in cars getting coffee. Um, I just saw what about a month ago or so. Netflix reached a deal to carry all the show. Um, you know, um, the the female lead um, from the show went on to do a couple of other hit shows. She had the old adventures of, or the new adventures of old Christine, and she was on Veep.
What's
Um,
Beep?
it was a show on HBO. She was the vice president, um, and she was kind of shown to be the one that was kind of pulling the strings a little bit.
Gotcha.
I never watched it, but I knew it was popular because every Sunday people were talking about it.
All right. Sounds good. Well, uh, that's all good and well, Doug. And those are our dates for this week. Kind of short, sweet, to the point, and we hope that you guys enjoyed it. But it's time to jump into this week's episode, Doug.
All right,
Are you ready?
I am ready.
Are you sure?
I'm as sure as I'm gonna be.
Are you ready?
I'm not doing that.
Oh, come on. One of these weeks I'm going to get you to you can't do it on the last black and white episode of 2021, Doug?
Nope.
Come on.
Nope.
I said, "Are you ready?"
Not doing it.
Damn. Fuck. All right, everybody. Well, apparently I'm not ready. Um, my episode doesn't want to play anymore. I got to 2 seconds and and it paused on. There we go. It had to load. But okay, so we start this week's episode with a almost complete recap of last week's episode, everybody. And then we found out who Lenora is, and Ash said that he's gonna challenge her tomorrow for this gym battle. And then we go straight into the theme song. Oh, and I think this has to be a record because it was like 20 seconds into the episode, and we got the theme song already. But right after the theme song, we go into the title sequence, and we got Lenora and her husband walking inside of a huge library. So we find out that not only is her gym a museum. This must be some big ass building.
Right?
But it's the Unova's big library that's out here as well. And that any historical facts that's about Unova can be found inside of any of the books inside of this library. And not even just that, but you have to be invited to come into this library, Doug.
Like a vampire.
Yes. So we get well, no, you have to be invited to go to the back of the library. I guess it's open to the public, but there's a private section in the back.
Yeah, because that's where all the adult shit is.
Don't you remember the old movie stores that had the little beads coming down,
The fucking beaded curtain.
the beaded curtain, and that's where you can go and get your adult movies.
Oh my goodness gracious.
I think of how yucky it is because I remember that. I had well, you did too, probably growing up, but there used to be right across the street from our Blockbuster, this place called Lion Video. And
Yeah,
they had that beaded back room that had the adult movies there. But
because you didn't get
Blockbuster,
no porn at Blockbuster.
no.
You want that shit? You gotta go across the street. Okay,
Go across the street into that dirty room in the back.
you gotta tell me twice.
So,
Oh boy.
Fun stuff of the 90s. But
Oh my gosh.
all right, Doug, do you want to go over this back room that they just walked into?
So, the husband, whose name is escaping me at the moment, and I'm kind of waiting around to see if his name pops up, is like, we got books on everything, and Silence over there looking like you got, you even have books on Pokemon connoisseurs, and and
Lenora kind of
Lenora's like, oh, are you? She's like, that's where the Unova regions where the connoisseurs got their start. Or is this something you're interested in? And he's like, in fact, I'm on this journey to become a better Pokemon connoisseur. And she's like, oh well, what do we have here? Like a connoisseur boy, and that unfortunately that nickname sticks.
yes. And boy,
Awful.
boy, does it stick. But Lenora then at this point says, this is a nice library. And Ash, you know what? You should study up before our battle. You can read any book that's inside of this gym. And you know what? And I kind of recommend this book for you to read. And Ash just gets dumbfounded. He's like, I didn't come here to read. And freaking Silence like, Ash, I think this might be a test. He's like, you might want to listen to what she's saying. And he's like, you really think that this is a test? And he's like, all right, well, you know what? I will read a book. What was the name of that book? Oh, this one right here, right? And he pulls on the book, and the bookshelf opens up to a secret tunnel, which leads to the actual battleground for them to battle. Doug,
That's where the really dirty stuff is.
you thought this back room was dirty. Wait until you go down here.
There's two beaded curtains. Oh gosh.
So Doug, you wanna go over after the door opens up?
So she basically she says um she kind of explains that what Silent was saying about um Ash being challenged was correct. And she's like, I tell every trainer that comes in here that they can read any book that they're interested in. And some trainers go to books that they're interested in, and some trainers go to thin books that they think they can read rather quickly, even though I specifically tell them the quickest way to get to the gym, and she's alluding to the fact that she knocks on that specific spot in the bookcase. And, meanwhile, you're the type that goes directly for what you want. And I'm actually very intrigued by that, she says.
Yeah. So she's and then freaking Silent and Iris, they're like, I think she has you down to a T, Ash. Whatever you want, you basically you want that one thing, and that's what you're gonna go after. So it's at this point that they start. Well, Ash is like, fine. He's like, then you know what? I'm stoked and you can watch me all you like. And she's like, I like your spirit. Let's go. And he's like, right, let's get ready to go down and do this battle. So they walk into the gym room, and it's a really huge gym room. Like, this place
Hmm.
is huge. How long it probably took to dig all this out was just holy crap. But
Right.
but Ash is like, I'm ready to battle right now. And Lenora's like, don't you want to find out what type of Pokemon that I have before we get into this battle? And he's like, oh, that might be a good point. And she's like, or which Pokemon I'm going to use. And she throws out her first Pokemon, and it's a Watchog from last week. And
Right.
then she's like, and the second Pokemon I'm going to use, and it's a Lillipup. And Silence just sitting there. He's like, telling a trainer which Pokemon that you're going to use before you actually use it. That's pretty ballsy. And Ash is like, and they're both normal type. Doug?
Did you get a did you get a pang of familiarity looking at Lillipup?
What do you mean?
Kind of looks like your dog a little bit.
Oh, stop it.
I mean,
If my dog was a Pokemon, it would be a Lillipup.
I think it would be. Have to get a little bigger first,
Just a little bit.
but
So, all right, Doug.
so we the husband steps up whose name again, if it popped up I've missed it. I really am. I mean, we said it a couple times last week and I'm really not
Yeah,
interested enough to. I mean, I could look it up. I could have it at some point, but
yeah.
um
We'll just call him the husband.
he walks up and says that Lenora's Pokemon are really good when it comes to security as well. And obviously, Watchog being what it is. And, you kind of look at Lillipup and you go, security. Well, then you kind of find out what it's got up its little furry sleeves. And and also because they're normal types, they're not limited to like elemental restrictions. Like it's a water Pokemon, so it has to be in a pool, or it's a grass Pokemon, so it thrives better in a grassy area or whatever.
And it's at this point that we find out that this is going to be a 2-on-2 battle, Doug, and that your Pokemon can be swapped out at any time during this battle for any reason.
And then Silence, like, boy, you really can tell when these gyms have their own specific rules, can't you? And good old Silent right there to provide a little bit of explanation.
And Ash is just over here cuddling with this dog, and he's holding up Lillipup. He's like, "All right, pup, pup," and then he's like, "All right, I'm gonna count on these two to watch." And he's like, "Can you watch my Pikachu for me?" Ash not using his Pikachu is stupid
Yes, 100%,
because
100%.
because honestly, Ash would not have had that problem because what you know, Pikachu would have been pissed. Ash has to have Pikachu's Pokeball, right?
Well, I mean, we've had this discussion a couple times. I don't know anymore.
Because if what happened in this episode and he was using Pikachu first, man, Pikachu would be mad. I just think it's funny, Doug, that if he was using Pikachu, I don't think he would have had the issues that he was having in this battle. But he he lets Pikachu stay on the sidelines, and Ash gets this big chip on his shoulder, and we start this episode with her first Pokemon, Lillipup. And Lillipup runs out onto the field and it's now growling and it's not the cute little dog Pokemon that it just was a second ago. And Iris is like, "Oh, it's not that cute anymore." And Silent's like, "Yeah, it's in battle mode now."
I kind of like that explanation. I mean, Silent can get a little wordy, but I mean, that kind of does make sense. Like Lillipup knows when it's playtime and when it's battle time, and at its heart, it is obviously a Pokemon.
Yes.
So I kind of like that.
So at this point, Ash throws out to Pig, and to Pig is ready to battle. I think this is the best we've seen to Pig in a long time. But at this point, Topig's getting ready to blow out some type of fire move, but
Ember.
Ember. So it's getting ready to use Ember, and Lillipup uses Roar, and at that point, Roar sends Tepig back into its Pokeball, and then sends out Oshawott, who seemed like it was sleeping before it came out. And Oshawott's like, "The fuck? Why am I out here in the middle of a battle?" And then Lenore says that the move Roar sends your Pokemon back for a substitute of another Pokemon that is on your belt. Doug,
That's some shit.
I know, isn't it? It's actually a move in the game. I hate it though.
Yeah, I imagine it could be a real pain in the ass.
So,
Now, and I have a question.
yes,
So Ash obviously used Dexter on Lillipup.
yep.
Shouldn't that come up? Hey, watch out for Roar.
No, I mean a Pokemon. There's a lot of Pokemon that can use the move Roar, but I, I don't think that Roar would be a warning sign for that would be deemed Dexter worthy.
Oh, but you're saying it would be if Lillipup was the only one.
Yeah,
Okay,
like there's other Pokemon that can use it. So,
gotcha.
but at this point, she returns Lillipup back into the Pokeball and then sends out her Watchhog. Doug.
Yeah, she's got like a 1-2 strategy going, and um, but Ash is like, well, shoot, if she's gonna use Watchhog, I'll call Oshawott back, and she gets the jump, and she uses mean. Is it mean look?
Yes, or I believe it's Evil Eye, and
Yeah, it's something.
and Lenora says me. Oh no, it's mean. Yeah, mean look.
Mean
Um,
look.
so Watchhog uses mean look, and mean look prevents a Pokemon from being called back into its Pokeball until it's done battling. So she she used Roar, sent out Ash's other Pokemon, and then used Mean Look to trap that Pokemon on the field so it can stay in the battle.
She's
So
got a she's got a crazy strategy. I mean, obviously it's working for her, but I mean, she's just like 1-2 in this shit.
yeah, I know. So Silent's like, man, he's like, that's psychologically like amazing that she's doing this with her Pokemon. And Ash is like, I was gonna use my Tepig to use Ember to throw it off guard and then switch it off to Oshawott to use Shell Cutter or no, to use Razor Shell to finish up the battle in a 1-2 combo, but I can't do that now. And then Lenora calls his bluff and she's like, it's really easy to see when you're put off balance and you're put off balance right now, aren't you? And Ash is like, No, no, I'm not."
I'm a big boy.
and and freaking Silent is sitting here like, man, Ash is in trouble, and he needs to recover from this shock like very soon, or this battle's gonna be over real quick. Doug.
It's, pardon me. So Silent also says, you can tell that Oshawott is maybe a little perturbed by having to enter the battle sooner than anticipated, and Ash tells
Which he is.
well, and you can see it because Ash tells Oshawott to use water gun, and he half-asses this water gun attack, and Watchhog takes advantage and basically does a Karate Kid sweep the leg,
Yep, a low kick.
a low kick, and knocks Oshawott clean on his face, and Oshawott gets up. He's like, okay. So this is how we're gonna do it. This is some bullshit, and it's got like black eyes, and it like it does like the Roman Reigns, like I'm gonna pound my chest, like let's fucking go. And um Lenora sends Watchhog to use Thunderbolt, and um Ash has Oshawott block it with his shell. And Ash is doing the happy dance. Oshawott's like, "That's right, I got a shell." And Lenore's like, "Huh?
Yeah, because
Didn't
she's
didn't
never
know that
seen
was a
that.
thing." Yeah, didn't know that was a thing.
And she's starting to get she's like, I'm officially impressed. And he's like, Ash is like, that's not the only thing that I can do. And she's like, Ashwa, go in for or no, run in on Watchhog. And she's like, really? You're gonna do that? All right. Watchhog low kick. And then we go into the Lily Pup, who's that Pokemon.
Which I
And
appreciated.
I know you did. So, um, and Ash is like, I was waiting for you to do that. And Ash, and then when we get back, Ash is like, Ashwa, quick jump. And Lenora's like, what's going on? And he's like, now use your water gun. Let's go. And Ashwa uses water gun, hits Watchhog, and it hits it back, and it worked. But Watchhog's not done yet. Doug?
Right, because um, Oshawa charges in for a Razor Shell attack, and Lenora tells Watchhog to counter it with a tail. I mean, she doesn't call it, but it's basically she wants to use Tail Whip to counter the shell attack, and Watchhog's tail, um, in like a spinning motion, knocks Oshawott shell out of its hand. The shell lands behind Oshawott. Oshawott looks behind himself to see the shell, and then is left wide open for a thunderbolt and is incapacitated.
Yes. And from there, so remember, everybody, this is a 2-on-2 battle, and Ash is now down one Pokemon. So Watchog wins this round, and Ash is like, well, damn, Oshawott return. I guess I can only use my Tepig now, but my surprise attack is not going to work anymore. So I now got to think on my feet. So he sends out, um, he sends out Tepig. And let's see, what move does
To
he?
pig gets
Tepig is
to
just
pig
ready
gets
for battle.
right.
Uh,
So Lenora also
Lillipup.
sends Watchhog back as well,
Yes.
and
Ash is taken aback when she does this. He's like, you're switching your Pokemon again, and she's like, yeah, I'm having fun with this.
so Ash sends to pig to use tackle, and Lenora tells Lillipup to dodge, and then as soon as Lillipups able to stop the dodge, sends out Shadow Ball,
Yes.
and it hits, and you can tell that Tepig is a little stunned, and then Ash sends out another Ember attack, and
Lenora tells Lillipup to use takedown.
takedown, and takedown just runs right through the Ember, is a direct hit onto Pig. Tepig hits once, bounces, and he's incapacitated. I mean, Tepig gets completely jobbed.
Yeah, he does. And freaking the match is called at that point. Lenora's husband sits there and says,
Pause.
"What's up?"
Pause.
Yes.
I looked it up. I was pissed off.
So he calls the battle and says that Lenora wins and Ash is the loser of this battle. So we got a gym battle this week, everybody. But Ash does not win this gym battle. And Topig seems so defeated and sad at this point. And Ash is like, the truth, it's not your fault, it's my fault that we lost. He's like, I'm sorry, I'm a really weak trainer. And
Yeah, so we're just dealing with sad sack hour
I know.
because before this we recorded an episode of Kanto where we had a greenhouse trainer who was all kinds of down on her luck.
So yeah, that's the theme this week, everybody. But
Jiminy
um
Chris.
but it's at this point that Lenora tells Ash that was a really, really good battle, and you can come back and battle me anytime now that you know the secret of the Pokemon gym. So just come back at any time and I'll face you. And then we
And
switch from that to um, Dusk, basically. Doug?
and we're at a Pokemon Center, and we see that the gang is out in the lobby, and Ash has the egg, which makes its first appearance. Um, and he's all down and mopey, and Iris is like, hard to usually see you like this, and Ash is like, how can I not be down? Nothing I was doing today um, worked, and my plans failed at every turn. And
And they they basically sit there and try to cheer up Ash, but there was no cheering him up until we hear the ding from the back, and Nurse Joy is bringing out Oshawott into Pig, and they're riled up. They are ready to just go back in, and they got their game face on, which puts Ash in a whole nother mode. And he's like, well, maybe I just need to train a little harder to to be able to battle her. And then that's when we get the leader of the Pokemon excuse
Battle Club.
yeah, the Pokemon Battle Club. And he comes up and he's like, the only way that you're going to beat Lenora is if you train a little harder and your Pokemon become a little faster. And I will let you come over to my battle club and train if that's what you want, Doug.
And so it's kind of funny because I think you got him out of the way so we can backtrack and we can handle Team Rocket.
Oh yeah, no, oh, I
Um,
did that on purpose, bro.
yeah, no, I could tell because Team Rocket got completely disrespected this episode. Um, so we're back at the gym, and James is down in what appears to be a command center. We find out in a few minutes that he's basically just seated in the van in the action center, and he's like, he's he's R1, and we find out that Jesse and Meowth are R2, and they are about to do some real Mission Impossible stuff because James has disarmed the security system, and they're going to have about
30
20
seconds.
seconds to do what they need to do. And Meowth is so confident. He's like, we could probably get it done in 10. And
And they do.
like I say, we do the stereotypical Mission Impossible spot where um, Meowth floats over uh, the case that's holding the actual meteorite. Um, Jesse drops in a fake. Um, they had already pre-slid the case so it meets them when they land, and then they see that the laser grid reactivates, and
And they're done.
they have accomplished their goal, and they're done, and that's it. They're done. They said it like a total of like 15 words. I was I was so pissed.
And that's when we really go back to what we've already gone over, and that's the Battle Club, where Ash is standing in there. They're getting ready to open the door to the Battle Club for the training session. And we end the episode with the lights opening up inside of the Battle Club. And then we get the to be continued logo at the very bottom. So great episode.
Eh,
This episode was straight and to the point, Doug.
Yeah, and before we go into our wrap up, we find out that Lenora using the mean look and the roar tactic has been something she's been doing for a while.
Yes. So Ash is about to try to counter that going forward.
Right.
So, all right, everybody. Doug, this week on Black and White, what will you give this episode on your Dougometer?
I'm confident enough to bump this up to a 4.
All right, and I'm in the same boat. I was about to say I'm going to give this episode a nice round four, um, for going forward in this episode because we had a bit of everything. I mean, we had a gym battle. There
Yeah,
was a lot of action. We got Team Rocket doing their badassery, even though we could have seen them a little bit longer. So yeah,
we get a little bit more Team Rocket. We might be looking at a 4.5,
yeah, yeah,
which
exactly.
is not something I expected to say sitting down to review this episode after watching it.
So, all right, everybody. I'm not going to keep you too much longer. I promised you two Pokemon Fusion Strike packs to open up here. Now, uh, let's go ahead and open this. I want to preference this by saying that the pulls in these packs are pretty hard. So a lot of the pulls are probably not going to happen the way that I want them to happen. So we'll
Well,
see
not
what
with that attitude, for goodness sake.
we'll see what I end up getting this week. Doug, what energy am I looking at?
Fire.
Fighting.
Fuck.
So we have a Semaphore, a Metapod, a Battle VIP Pass, a Sizzlepede, a Klefki, Pinsage, Woolo, a Pacham, a Reverse Hollow Durant, and a non-hollow Zeraora. I do love me a Zeraora, but it would have been 10 times better if it was a hollow. So I'm going to call this a dud pack. And we do have
Yeah.
one more. Uh, I'm not giving out any spoilers. We did already record this Friday's episode right before we did this one. So there, I've already opened two other packs. But all right, let's go ahead and open this up. Dun, dun, dun. All right. Oh, okay. All right, everybody. I got a black card, so I'm going to put this to the test. The white cards normally are the dud packs and the other packs that you would get. I've been getting a few dud packs just personally, just by opening a few of these. Now I'm going to see if we're actually going to get something different. Doug, what energy am I looking
Steel.
at? Lightning, electric.
Damn it.
4 for 4 this week.
Boy,
Um,
god damn.
and then I have a fusion strike energy, a Tyranitar, a P. I don't even know how to pronounce this. Pikamuku. Yeah, there you go. A Shinx, a Shelmet, a Drillbur, a Bunnelby, a Mudkip, ooh, a Reverse Hollow Melton, and I have a full blow. Yes, okay, everybody. Okay. Okay, these are not all duds. I did get a bolted V. Oh, this is a really nice hollow. Yeah, I got a holographic Bolton V card, everybody. And if you want to see this and any other cards that I have pulled, go over to the Every Pokemon episode on Instagram, and that's where I post all of these pulls. So, all right, Doug, I'll call this a win. I got one nice pack this week.
That's not too bad.
No, that's not. So, all right. Well, that being said, do you have anything else to add for this week, Doug?
I don't think so.
All right. So just doing a little bit of cleanup just in case you don't listen to this upcoming Friday's episode, everybody. Um, n- so this Friday is the last of the 2 episodes per week. Starting next Friday, you're going to start getting 1 episode per week, and it will be alternating between black and white and the Kanto region. So people that are loving the black and white episodes, you are in luck because we are starting next week off with the next black and white episode. And then the week after that, we will be going into the Kanto episode, everybody. So just a friendly reminder with that. So Doug, go ahead and say goodbye, Doug.
Goodbye, Doug.
And this is Wrestling Chris G telling all of you I will see you this upcoming Friday for our Kanto episode. And we will see you next Friday for a rematch at the Knack Ring Gym. Have a good night, everybody, and I will see you soon.